So, today we have the stock market update. For some reason, my mic is extremely loud. Hopefully, that's not a problem. Um, yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. Is that better? I think that's a little better. Okay, well, I'll try not to scream too loud or anything. But yeah, so I'm going to have the stock market up on the screen here, and I do not know why the mic is so loud. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I have it almost all the way down, but I don't know. We'll have to live with it. So we have the stock market update today. So please go up in the top right corner and click on the little eye icon. That will allow you to vote in next week's fluctuation. And in doing so, you will help out with the competitive nature of this competition, so that we can keep this going in a entertaining fashion. So I am going. Did I switch the screen? I did not. So there we go. And now you can see the stock market. So you can see OC is now at the top of the stock market, but we'll see if that lasts for this week. And we are going to get right into it. So this week we had an interesting vote. There was a fairly even spread across the board, but it wasn't totally even. So let's go look at how it went. We have red coming in with a voting percentage of 25%. We have yellow coming in with 25%. We have green coming in with 0%. We have blue coming in with 25%, and I bet you can know where I'm going next. 12 received a 25% of the vote. So that's fairly interesting, and we are going to add in the market factor, which of course is a number between 0 and 40, and we will see how that goes. And it is 11, which is wonderful for the market. The market really needed that. So hopefully we will be seeing some large spikes in the market in certain categories, but of course green will also be taking an 11-point hit. So let's hit new market. We will click 0 here, and we can see that red is now back up to 50, as opposed to its lowest value of about 34, I want to say. So now we can see that yellow is still on top of the market with its value of 131. Now nobody really tapped into yellow's market value when it was low, so I don't think that we'll be seeing too many changes due to that, but I know there are some people who are invested. So we're going to grab these numbers and we're going to copy them, and then we are going to go paste them on this screen, and we have to make sure that we're pasting them numerically so that they don't take any of the macros along with them. So you can see that everything is kind of spiking back up. Green really isn't in the worst situation. It can take a hit, although it is below its original value. So as you can see on the screen, we have our market trends updated. So let's go check out the scoreboard for this week. So you will immediately notice that some people are now in the 100,000s. This is significant because that means that there has been an increase in total value of the market. So if we take our total competition here and we sort it from largest to smallest, I happen to be on top this week. But interesting changes of events. OC has dropped from 1st to 5th, and James has actually entered the top 3, which is fairly significant. And I wanna reach out my cyber pat on the back to James. He didn't do the best in last season, but it is a long season, so things can change. Who knows? Maybe James might find himself on top of the charts in the next few weeks. So we see that Megan has received somewhat of a gain due to her sole investment in blue, And so she is no longer in the 60,000s. Um, the ladies are definitely trailing the stock market at the moment, but you know they're both they both haven't spent all of their money, so they may have taken less risks as everyone else, and in a situation where the market is generally benefiting everyone, they're not necessarily taking the most advantage of those situations. So, as of right now, we can see that even Steven is back up into the 90,000s, which means that the market is on a general rise. So I'm going to chat a little bit while I add in these assets to my calculator so I can just keep them there for when I bring them to the other page. So you may have noticed from the news titles over the past week or so that there was a scare that Microsoft Paint may have been killed off per se by the software developers of Microsoft. Now, what actually happened is that the software will no longer be automatically downloaded onto new computers and will not necessarily be included in the new updates to the Windows processing. Um, so the Windows processor. But it is going to still be available as a download from the Windows Store, which in any case is just as good to me because I plan to download it if they somehow remove it from my computer, which I doubt will happen. And if it isn't removed from my computer, then there's no problem. So I was a little hurt that the idea was even out there to get rid of MS Paint. It is somewhat of my livelihood, but there are other options out there. They're not as good, but I like to keep to the basics with MS Paint, and I definitely have a decent amount of projects going on, so that would have caused some problems in my general work outside of work, that is. So we have even Steven at a value of 91,200. We have myself at a value of 109,958, and we have Mr. Positive at a value of 95,500 Jonos. So that is a significant increase for Mr. Positive. I'm not going to go over to the graph yet because I'm still going, but I do know Dan, Osi, and Khalil are next. So in other news, I don't know what else. I'm still working on my game. I say that meaning that it's still in the works. It will be in the works for a really long time, but in terms of the next update, I don't necessarily have what I'd like to have in order to achieve that update. And a lot of it right now is artwork, so it is a little bit time consuming, and I have been just kind of relaxing when I get home from work, so it's a little harder to get myself motivated to do so. I'm also working on a couple things like my comic. I'm also working on another comic that my dad and I have been talking about for a while. And so as I get more along those lines, I will be sharing some things with you. But in the meantime, hang in there, and if you haven't checked out my game, it is available in the description below. Completely free. I'm just looking for people to see how they like it, see if there's any problems. I did fix the doors. That's one cool thing. So with Hysteria, I had this problem where if you went through the doors at the side of the door at a 45-degree angle while sprinting, you could actually get through the door without the door actually changing your environment. So that was a problem because then if you leave the area while still in a building, it crashes the game. So that's problematic. But I did solve that by putting a sort of hammerhead shape on the area that the doors um, are enabled by. Originally, there was just a rectangle in the section of the wall where the door is, and that was useful if someone was going through the middle of the door, but there was some problems along the edges, so what I did was I just made this kind of hammerhead shape, and that allowed me to get rid of the problem of people skipping the door by sprinting at the corner. Um, a big shout out to Jake for endlessly testing that whenever I put out an update. But I do believe I have that completely fixed, and it is nice because I am adding in more buildings in the new area. So I needed to get that fixed in order to feel good about how I was working with those buildings. So we have the last three here is Megan. We have Carly 88933, and we have James. So James is actually the most recent addition to the stock market, and he is doing very well for himself. I think that's due to the fact that he's relatively spread out, and he also invested heavily in red, and red was very low. So this significant rise in red, which I have ridden somewhat, has really shown to help James out in the market. So Megan has 78,677, which, as I said, is a significant increase from her previous week. Carly has 88,933, which is also a significant increase from her previous week. And James has a whopping 107,750, which I would say is probably the largest spike we've seen so far. There is something close. Dan received a 22-point spike here, but this, I believe, is more than that. That would be about 25,000 Jonos, which is a pretty big jump. So that's pretty neat to see that the market can move like that. So it is kind of hidden if you actually zoom in here. You can see James's orange line as he joined in here at the market value and kind of followed the market last week, but then he spiked up and now he's up here with the big boys, me and Dan. And we should be able to see OC. OC was, where is OC? OC was on top last week. He's here. So he has been pretty consistent, but the problem is the market has not been. So now that the market is relatively high, OC has dropped down in the rankings, although his actual value hasn't gone very far. So let's go back to the, well, I'll zoom out just in case you want to get one last look at this. It is pretty cool to see, and I'm sure it will get even more confusing. This weekend, my friend Thomas, who you have seen a couple times on the stream before, is going to be talking to us about two topics. He's going to be talking to us about one musical topic and one medical topic. Now, previously he did talk about marching band. Now I think this time he's going to be talking a little bit about just kind of a general music topic, maybe like an intro to music topic. And then he also has, as I said, a medical topic, because that is his field of study, music being his passion and his university activity, I guess, because he is the drum major for UCF. So I guess the question becomes, do I want to reinvest any of my money? As of right now, 12 is relatively flatlined back to where it started, so I don't know that that's necessarily anything good. I think that red is too good of an investment right now, assuming that it continues to move up. I just have so much stock in red that I think that I should hold on. And blue has actually is actually quite low for what it normally is. So I think that I should hold on to what I have right now. Um, and if anyone here watching this is currently participating in the stock market, then you can contact me, and we can you can have any reinvestment you want throughout the next week, and then we will see how things go on next Thursday. So I will mention one final time that if you go up in the top right hand corner of the screen, there's a little eye icon you can click on, and that will pull out the poll where you can vote. You just pick one of the options there. You have red, yellow, green, and blue, and then the number 12 as your options, and you can help fluctuate the stock market. So thank you guys for watching. I'm going to save that off, and then I will be signing off. But I will see you over the weekend. I believe the guest stream will be on Sunday this time, just for scheduling conflicts. I have a couple things going on Saturday in the evening, and Thomas has a couple things going on Saturday in the rest of the day. So Sunday worked out better. I am going to talk to Dan and Osi, hopefully, and see what they're up to about taking their turn in tax. But if that doesn't happen, at least we'll have the guest stream, so that should be fun. So thank you guys for watching, and goodbye.